You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Raul
Nieves, one of my dear friends. I'm so glad to finally get you on. Raul has been an inspiration to me in my recovery, honestly, man, because this guy, I've known him since he came through Centerpoint, a little bit behind me, and, you know, he has probably dealt with more struggles in his recovery than anybody that I know personally, and stayed sober. You know, he's persevered through it all. You've had money issues, you've had car accidents, you've lost jobs, you've had back surgery, you know, you didn't know how you were going to pay your bills, and through it all, you have trusted God, you have stayed sober. When you couldn't work or couldn't do things, you went to meetings every day. You worked here at Turning Point for a little while. You've worked at several different treatment facilities. Now you work at Neartown Recovery Center, which you have a special place in your heart for, because that's where you started this recovery journey, right, before you went to Centerpoint?
Absolutely.
So, and me and Raul have grown close since being through Centerpoint, working together here for a little while. We do peer support together. He's like one of the longest peer support people I do with, and it's mainly about just checking in with each other. But I've seen him go through a lot. I've seen him persevere. He's got a powerful story because he is drastically different from the man that I've heard he was and that he said he was. I didn't know him in the madness, but the people that did were scared of him. You know, so I'm just happy to have you on. Now, the thing about Raul is I don't speak Spanish, but I do speak Raul. So, I will interpret for Raul if need be. Okay? But I love you, brothers. So tell us a little bit about your journey from your perspective.
All right. First of all, I'm Raul, person in recovery. My journey started 6/21/21. I came from prison to Neartown, and first of all, I didn't want to be there because I was not consider myself an addict or alcoholic, because I was prideful. Even though I had addiction problems and I could not manage my own, life, I still thought I didn't have a problem because I'm that unique guy, I was. And so I started there, and man, they loved me in this place until I could love myself. I mean, I used to have this guy come in the room every day and tell me, get up and give me a hug. I was like, oh my God, who's this clown? I'm not going to say names to keep it anonymity. But yeah, they loved me until I could love myself, and that did it for me, because as a child, I had abandoned natures because my parents got divorced when I was 4 years old. Then I grew up with 3 females. I got 7 sisters total, and they always stay to themselves. I was always with myself, so I had abandoned natures since an early age. I'm not going to dwell too much on what I did in the past. Everybody knows, what to do and to get in trouble. So I was one of them. I started at a young age. When I was 10, I started drinking. At 12, I started smoking pot, and at 13, I got my first juvenile incident with the law. I decided to get a vehicle, a stolen vehicle, and just park it in the park and fall asleep. That's how smart I was.
You got into a stolen vehicle and slept in, or you stole a vehicle?
I stole a vehicle, but then I parked in the park and slept in it. So that was my first offense with the law. And
did they consider it joyriding or grand theft?
I don't even know, because at that age, I went to juvenile in New York City. That's where I'm from. I went to Rikers Island. And, I know a lot of places they got different facilities, you know, that they real strict or whatever you want to call it, you know. But Rikers Island is a beast. I mean, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was scared to death. Plus, I grew up behind my mom's back, so I was a mama's boy, and yeah, so I was scared to death, and I didn't even think I was there like 3 weeks, bro. And in that period of time, I mean, like, I got jumped, you know, attacked by the juveniles, and I started carrying myself, you know, a little bit more like, kind of tried to get an attitude that I didn't have, you know, build, you know.
Well, yeah, you have to like adjust and try to be somebody you're not, or you're gonna just get walked all over.
Exactly.
And you were 14?
13.
13.
And but then you know, I'm not gonna say I became good, because I mean that's a complete lie. You know, I became real ornery. I used to not care about nobody's feeling. And once I got out, because I'm not gonna tell this whole thing. Once I got out, my dad found out I was smoking weed, and he kicked me out from my house at the age of 13. So I'm on the streets of New York, you know, bouncing around, not knowing what to do. And so make the story short. I got recruited by this gang, and I used to call them TNS, taking no shorts. You know, we would not put up with nothing. And
taking no shorts?
It used to be TNS, taking no shorts. I was abbreviated.
It's a gang name?
Yeah.
Are they a big? I've never heard of that one.
Man, it's a little crew, young kids. And
Here,
that was like,
in Lone Oak here in Paducah, there's the Oaktown Mafia and the Insane Cobras, and they would walk up behind you and go, yeah.
But, you know, as a kid, you know, they showed me how to, you know, be more reckless and, you know, like do things that any normal people would not do. So, like, but I had to learn how to survive one way or another, and that's what I did, you know. And then I got under the wing of this female, you know, lesbian female, and she brought me to her house, and all what was going on there was, you know, drugs, sex, and all that kind of stuff, and I dipped out. And then one of my sisters, she had run away with her boyfriend, and I moved in with her, but her boyfriend used to be dealing with cocaine and all that kind of stuff, and he used me to go. And then I thought I found a way to make money, and that's when I started my...
So you were helping deal cocaine?
Yeah, at the age of 13, but then at the age of 15. So I'm very rebellious against my parents, especially my dad. So I started trying to figure a way how to do something bigger just to, you know, show him that, you know, I don't need you. Okay. And I did, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to say I got good at it. I probably got better on doing the dumb things I was doing, but it kept building up, you know, resentments and, you know, and a lot of big resentments. And I was suffering more than they was, because, you know, I mean, I don't know if people know, but when you try to harm somebody, you're harming yourself. Mm-hmm. And that happened, and to fast forward, at the age of 20, I got caught coming from Colombia in the airport, and I got, they gave me 157 months to do in the federal prison, and I did it. But at that time, you know, when I did my time, I was still a kid. I was 20 years old. So I tell this to the guys who I work at: either you get institutionalized or you become, you know, a better person. So I got institutionalized. So everybody that has done time knows that you meet all kind of people in there. I mean, everybody's, you know. Yeah. So I met these other guys that there was in a different, well, let me call it a kind of league that I wasn't. They gave me numbers. That's the wrong thing to do. I don't suggest nobody.
A different league?
Like, you know, in another level.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
I was no, but they gave me numbers, so I suggest anybody, they go to prison, don't get nobody's number. You're not gonna meet no friends there. It's probably a few, but when I got
so
out,
they gave you phone numbers to call when you got out?
Yeah, to contact them or their people. So like when I got out, you know, instead of, you know, going out my way, I started calling those numbers, and like I said, I'm not gonna dwell on what I did, but here I am back in the same path, you know. But this time they had me like driving cars, you know, going to different states, and I thought it was fun. And, you know, it kept escalating, you know, more and more. And I kept getting pulled over, getting possession charges, you know, and things like that. And every state I moved into, I thought that they just was racial profiling because I'm Hispanic and they didn't like me. That was my process thinking.
Yeah.
And so all my conviction, my charges is related with drug. Well, I didn't have a problem because unfortunately I thought I was God, but I wasn't. I was real wrong for that. But that's the way I acted. That's the way I performed. And well, it kept hitting until I got to Kentucky, and unfortunately, well, not for the grace of God, for my God, I got to Kentucky, and 2 years after I got to Kentucky in 2011, I got myself my first trafficking charge in Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky.
And you were living in Hopkinsville?
No, this was in Henderson County.
Henderson?
Yeah, and so they charged me with a lot of charges. I mean, they caught me handed with everything, but the only reason, and this is funny, but I mean, you can make fun. I mean, you know, everybody say, I speak Raul, so now we're going to speak Raul. The only reason they dropped the trafficking charges to possession is because they charged me with 14 counts. I have all kind of stuff, you know, heroin, I don't want to mention. But they put my name R-O-A-U-L, Raul.
R-O-A instead of R-A-U?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they put my ethnicity was Mexican. And
ethnicity was Mexican and you're Puerto Rican.
Yeah, and well, my attorneys at that time, there was private attorneys, you know, I mean, they tell the prosecutor and the judge, Your Honor, when you say a 6'4" Mexican, speak with that accent.
Yeah, you would be the biggest Mexican I'd ever seen.
Yeah, and because of that, I mean, I don't know, the state of Kentucky, I mean, they had to, you know, minimize it to possession, and I got 6 years for it. I went to Henderson County Jail. I went from there to SAP in Davis County, and I learned a little bit about recovery, but I was like, what they say, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed to go to the parole board, so I did pretty good. But I tell everybody, like in treatment, I mean, there's not such a thing as faking it. As much as you want to fake it, you're going to absorb something out of it.
Yeah, that's why people keep trying. They keep sending you to rehabs over and over again because seeds are getting planted, and in the hopes that eventually something will stick. You know, I mean, once you get a little bit of sobriety under your belt, and you go back out there, it's not the same, you know, because you know what it's felt like to get sober. That all that stuff you learn in rehab just is repeating itself over and over in your head. That's what I've heard. You know.
Can I do this, sir?
What? Don't slurp it.
No, I won't.
Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah.
I'm Joe, this is Christy. We're from Near Town Recovery Center. We are a state licensed short-term residential treatment center for men with addiction. If you're hopeless and broken and can't quit on your own, come join our family and let us love you until you can love yourself.
Give us a call at 270-489-2594 and find us on Facebook under Near Town Recovery.
Very nice.
So, I got out on parole. I made parole completion, and anything I said to you is true story, man. And don't even try to do it because it's gonna be foul. So I'm not from here. I didn't know nobody. So when I was in SAP, I met this guy, and he told me he would hook me up with his sister. I thought it was a good plan because I need a
green card.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You know, I'm so used to it. I got a green card, but it's the green dot card to put money in it. All joke to the side. So I met this chick over the phone, and she was like, man, that's fine. And the only condition you can come here, you got to babysit my kids when I go to work at night time. So that's fine. I don't know what I was getting myself into, but I just want to, get out. And I got to Cadiz, Kentucky. I will never live there again. I hate it for the people in Cadiz, but it's too country for me. There's no jobs. And as soon as I walked in there, it was a 3-bedroom trailer. It was 12 people living in it. So I asked her where I was going to go, and she said, find a spot and just lay low. I found a spot next to the kitchen and the living room counter under it. That's where I laid myself. And I was like, this is not right. You know what I'm saying? So I say it, for me, I will say it's conviction because I said to the kid, I had that, seed in me, the fear of God. So, like, I had the conviction that this is not going to be good. So I did learn while I was in SAP, the AA and NA, just a program that you could reach out to them.
Yeah.
So I said, well, this is the time to reach out. So I created not a fake account, a provisional Facebook account. And all I said, man, I didn't need your help. I need to get out of here. Please help. And 2 days later, somebody responded. They went and got me. They told me they was going to take me to Hopkinsville as a tour and show me the ways around. And they was going to try to get me into Salvation Army, which we did. And they told me I applied where I work at. And that person used to work at Genesis. And I applied. I said, I don't know what to do, And they were like, you don't need to know. You just need to be a year clean. And you have more than a year, so you get. They hire me.
You had a year clean because you've been locked up?
Locked up, exactly.
Yeah.
Not working the program, exactly.
Right.
And so that being said, they didn't work out too well because, I worked there. I lasted like probably a year and a half. But I was going to the meeting just to find girls, to be honest. I wasn't, and I was just to be strict with the guys. Hey, don't be passing no. But I was doing, what.
Right.
And it caught up to me. Not like that, but it caught up to me because I let a guy move in from treatment to my house because I had an extra room. I thought, trying to hustle him for some money, and they didn't went out well. They put, they did an investigation. I was able to resign, and it didn't work well for that person. I let move in. That girl that was for him ended up moving in with me after all this. So just to make the story short, I know it couldn't work out because I know she didn't really have feelings for me. She liked me as a friend, but I pushed it. We ended up moving together, and I got 3 years clean. 3 years sober. At
that point, you had...
At that point, but never worked a step, never worked a program. Was just take the parole officer off my back, and she had 3.5 years clean. And at that point, I was working in the other program, and she was working in the other. She was a trilogy, I was a Genesis. And it looked like, she was 27, I was 47, so, I felt like I was the man, Pretty good looking girl, but that's not a suggestion I give to anybody. And 2 months later, then we moved in, that's when problems started attacking us. I came from my regular job because I'm not working at Genesis. I started working at Switches in a tobacco factory they got down there.
Blunt factory?
Yeah, and I was the crew leader there, so I was working from 6 to 4, and I came home, and he or she is drinking, and I was like, man, you can't do that. She said, well, I just wanted to feel tipsy, I just bought this bottle. I was like, oh, my God. So that kept happening every day when I came from work. I said, well, if you're going to drink, I'm going to smoke. So, I started smoking weed, and that person that got the weed asked me one day if I wanted to make some money. I said, sure, what we got to do? And he told me, and here I am in the same path that I've been doing all my life.
Yeah, right back in it.
Yeah, and then, like I said, I'm not going to say it good. I got real set up for failure again, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I started in it, and then I started from one little portion to this, and it kept escalating, and then that's when I thought I was him. That's why I thought I was God.
Thought you were him?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you were making money doing it? But
yeah, and I was like, I don't know if people know or people that have been there knows, that power that you get, and that people reaching, calling you and, making you feel,
makes you feel important.
Yeah.
And needed.
Exactly, and that's not the truth. That's a setup for failure.
It's a lie.
Because those are the same ones they're gonna put the.
They don't
fingers.
care about you. They just care about what you got.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one good thing I love about sobriety. Today I got friends.
Yeah.
Back in the days, if I didn't have no money for gas or some dope or whatever it is, they would not come in. And I noticed that in December 2019, I was sitting by myself at my house. With everything that you could imagine, money and everything, but nobody would show up unless I offered something. And for the first time, I cried myself out to God. I said, please get me out of this. Boy, I didn't know how to. But not soon later after that, somebody reached out to me and told me to come and see him. I'm going to say Joe Foster. He's my go-to guy, man. Thanks to that man, I'm in the position I am today. Well, thanks to God, first of all. But he used Joe Foster and other people like you, man. But, like, Joe Foster, he never gave up on me. You know what I'm saying? Joe
Foster has helped a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I know Joe Foster probably for 8 years, and, I mean, he got 9 years over, so probably a year after. But, like I said, I seen that man transitioner and transform me. And like you said, he has helped so many people. And I'm blessed to call him my brother, my friend. And he's always there, you know, like we goof around, but when we mean business, you know. Same as you, you know, we goof around. But, so when he told me to come and see him, I said, no, I'm not getting high. I'm just selling it. He said, like, it's the same thing, bro. Look at you. I was 160 pounds. And I say it as a joke, but it's true. People used to run from me. I thought it was because I was intimidating. No, they was scared, man. I looked like I was sick or something.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't see that for myself, huh? I couldn't see myself in the mirror back then. Today I can. And so that went like that, and I got caught with my second trafficking charge. So they didn't play this time. They offered me 25 years off the rip, and I was like, just to tell the story short, I went to Neartown, like I said, like I started my story. From there, I went to Center Point. My first 2 months in Center Point, I didn't want to be there. And it's funny how people are in sobriety still with me. A person that's still doing good, and I love him to death. Can I say his name?
Who is it?
Dylan Rogers. That guy, when I met him.
Oh, yeah. Dylan's been on the podcast, running Step Works. I didn't think he's going to make it.
Me
at
neither.
all.
Listen, he told me when I came to Center Point, he was the first person I came into, and that's all he told me, don't let these people brainwash you. I said, what? And he tripped me, man. He had me messed up in the head. So I would go to the cafeteria, to the meeting, and not pay attention to nobody talking. I was like, zoomed out. And it's amazing what God has done in his life and, in my life.
Yeah. Well, we all need a good brainwashing when we get here. We've been believing lies our whole
absolutely.
life.
I agree.
Thinking that we were only hurting ourselves, or we had to do this to survive, or that everyone was against us, or like you said, you feel like people love you and want you and need you because you have drugs, but that's not the real reason they want you. They're not your real friends. And all these lies that we believe and that we tell ourselves is what keep us from becoming the people that we were meant to be, So I'm glad you have gotten past that and realized the truth, because I remember when you were early in Center Point and you weren't paying attention and you didn't want nothing to do with it. But it was like night and day. It was like, because I wasn't working there anymore. I was working down here at Turning Point by this time. And so I lost track of what you were doing. Months go by quicker out here than they do while here in program. And all of a sudden I hear everybody's saying that you're doing so good. People are talking about you coming to work at Turning Point. And I'm like, Raul? That guy who didn't want nothing to do with recovery when he got here? So it was a 180, man.
A peer mentor, and that was the game changer for me. I learned so much about myself being a peer mentor. It was a suggestion for my sponsor. I love him to death. It wouldn't be for that man. I have put people in my path. I say I'm truly grateful. And that being said, to fast forward, because I know the time was running time, right? We're short on time.
We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. You want to know something? My biggest issue with meetings is, despite their name, they're never about me. Here at Turning Point, all of our meetings are for you and about you. We have meetings at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. We are located at 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky. Call 270-444-3621 for more information.
One thing I have always wondered is who put the alphabet in alphabetical order. At Turning Point, our goal is to help you put your life back in order. If you struggle or have struggled with substance use disorder and are in need of help, come see us at 415 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky, or call 270-444-3621 and sign up for peer support services with one of our friendly staff who have lived experience with addiction. Hope to see you soon.
So yeah, I mean, like, I definitely did the decision to turn my life over to the care of God. And it's been a process. I've never been this spiritual or spiritual fit, but it has but I have seen for myself God's hands on my life in so many ways, like you say, back surgery, lost job, I mean, financial problem. I mean, like, but one thing I know, I say, if I used to go to any length to get that sack, I'm going to do the same thing towards my recovery. And I've done it. And that's what keep me pushing forward. And I've seen miracles. The promises has come true. I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof that this program works, but you got to put some action into it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, you can't ask for, like, action without work. Faith without action is dead.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And, I mean, I'm
well, yeah, I mean, you peer mentored, and then you went into sober living, caseworker, and then you were in sober living, and you were there for a while.
Yeah.
And then you came to work at Turning Point, and then you got your own place, and you were at Stepworks, and you were driving a cab, and you had a couple accidents, and then your back surgery, that put you down. You couldn't work, it was just all these hits. And I remember several occasions of you, like, coming up to me in the parking lot out here crying, like, not knowing if you could do it, if you could make it. It seemed like it was too much. Why is this all happening to me? But every time you would find something to be grateful for. You would say, I'm not going to let this deter me from my recovery and my program. You would dive into the meetings. You would rely on your support group. You had a great sponsor who stuck with you the whole time, who you stay in constant communication with. You've found the things that work for you, and you've trusted in God, and you've trusted in your support group, and you've you've utilized the tools that you were given. And that's how you succeed at this. Like, no matter what gets thrown at you, you continue to do what has worked. You don't let it deter you. I myself am recently going through a rough patch I was in a car accident, totaled my car, having to adjust to that situation, walking to work, and life's not always going to be easy.
Oh, no.
It's not always going to be easy. No one ever said you got sober and it's just going to be rainbows and unicorns, and that's not the case. Life can be hard, but we don't have to let it cause us to go back to doing the things that make it worse.
Absolutely.
And you have been the constant example of that, because I honestly don't know if the things that I saw you go through early on in your recovery and just kept one hit after another. I don't know if I could have done it.
That was my first 2 years of sobriety.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I could have taken that many hits and stayed sober and not just thrown in the towel and hit that button that we all like to hit so much. But you did it, and that was encouraging to me that, okay, it is possible. This is what you do. You set the example. And, you made some mistakes along the way, but you learned from them and you adjusted, and you're like, okay, now I'm not going to do that anymore, because obviously that wasn't the right way to act or behave. But you never used. And that's the golden ticket right there. Because as they say, often in the rooms, there's no problem that a drink and a drug is going to make better. They usually make it worse, So I'm proud of you, man. And it's an honor to call you a friend. And I see you'll go above all that stuff. You're the guy who will go out of his way to help somebody else, to your own detriment. You drive people around. You help them get into treatment. You help them get into sober living houses, So, I mean, it's just, you're the example, right, of somebody who's stayed continuously doing what works for them and trying to give back and help other people in spite of all the opposition. And, we go to church together too, so it's great to be able to see you there. And we've teamed up and helped people together. You've sent people to us. We've sent people to you. And yeah, man, it's just really cool because not everyone could do it, and I know you have had years of sobriety before, and you've worked in recovery, and you're old.
I didn't work a program, to be honest.
Right, but I'm saying you've had
It's a big
lots of
difference,
years to learn and
I know what
mess
to
up.
do. I know what to do, not to do.
Right, exactly. And that is one thing that comes with age, the experience and the wisdom of we've messed up enough times that we're finally learning from things. Because I was the same way for a lot of years. But once I've met you, you've taken the licks and you've kept on trucking, and that's something to be proud of, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, I started back in school officially. Yeah.
Oh yeah, back to school.
They
What do you
got
learn?
me- they got me
Taking
a-
English classes?
Yeah, that's the one I got struggle a little bit. Yeah, partial.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
starting to learn Spanish.
Well, good. You need to because no todo el tiempo podemos estar aquí hablando inglés. I just say we can be all the time talking English.
Agua.
Oh, that's water. But listen now.
Corre.
Before we cut this, I want to say something. The main key for me, I know that says willingness, being honest, all that's just true. But for me, it's the freedom I have gained, abundance of myself. I'm so free of everything. I don't have to worry about the cops looking for me, somebody knocking on my door. I drive, I hear a police car, just, go to the side, and things of that nature. That for me is priceless. And that's why my big book says freedom, because that's what I find in sobriety. And I try to keep it that way. People tell me, man, you still sober? I say, yeah. Freedom, bro. I love my ease and peace. I love coming home, playing with my puppy or with my cats, you know what I'm saying? And I'm super happy in my life.
Yeah. I think it's cool that, the different, like working here in Stepworks and working at Centerpoint and the few different treatment facilities you've worked at that haven't worked out for whatever reason, you ended up where you always wanted to work, which was back at Neartown where you started. And, that's such a cool program. And you're out there, I think where God wants you to be, and that's where you always wanted to be. And you've learned through these other places that you've worked, you've learned from little mistakes along the way. And
another thing I'm going to say about that, when I graduated Centerpoint, they had told me to come work in Neartown. But you know what? I'm going to tell you straight up, man, it's not when you want to, it's when God wants you to be there. And at that time, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So I needed to go through what I went through to be where I'm at today. I'm grateful for that because, now I'm more mature in my sobriety and, like you say, experience that I have gained. And honestly, I tell Jeremy, this is a joke, but it's the truth. When I went there, they had to give me a state ID, and I got this. Well, I don't got it no more, but he got that address. So I told Jeremy, you can evict me. This is my house. And that's how I go to work. I don't feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm going home.
Yeah.
I love being there with the guys. I love interacting with them. I love facilitating classes. That's the best, the beauty of it, because you could, and I get real passionate about it because, I'm living through it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm probably not a big book stumper. Or I probably can speak English like everybody say because I got an accent, but I
What'd you say?
Yeah, I probably cannot speak English like you guys say, but I just got a different accent. But I'm truly blessed, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this. I've been stalking him for 2 years, man. He had put everybody in this podcast.
Like, I given him a hard time because I was like, nobody's going to be able to understand you, bro.
Can you understand me?
I can understand you, but I've been listening to you for years. So I hope everybody listens. Comment on here if you can. You can't understand Raul, We'll we'll do subtitles at the bottom.
It's on Facebook, right? But Facebook, you could translate it to English. Whatever nationality.
I'll have Patrick turn on the subtitles on YouTube. So if you can't understand by listening to it,
that's what I love about my sobriety. We could joke and laugh, and we don't get enough feelings. I don't care about nobody's feelings no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm truly blessed. Thank you, man, for real.
All right. I love you, brother.
I love you too, my man.
And I'm glad you did this, and you just keep pushing, man, and setting the example that you have.
Absolutely.
All right. Check us out on YouTube or listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.